Yeah, welcome to another episode of Artco Drone Solutions. Yay! Hey, we got a good show today. Sadly, I'm not in Florida. I'm still here in Colorado. That darn COVID-19 screwed up my plans. I decided it would be better to reschedule rather than go through all this craziness and possibly catch it and feeling like crap down there and not enjoying myself. So I'm going to try and reschedule for May, the first week in May. That way it won't be really hot down there. I could still do some decent fishing and we'll have great weather for drone flying. So looking forward to that. I'm just waiting to hear about my refund or voucher. Uh, God, it took forever to get through Frontier Airlines. It was easier to go through their website and try to reschedule there rather than do it through cheapoair.com. That's where I booked my flight. All right, Timeless Truths, welcome. Welcome to the show. And Jody, uh, glad you can make it. Glad you're here. Thank you. And Mitch is here. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the COVID-19 or the Wuhan flu or the Kung flu or what we call the coronavirus and how that just in the last couple days screwed everything up around the country. Now, oddly enough, Mexico wants to close its border with us. I'm like, oh, it's about time. So, just waiting for Mitch to jump in. And Mel, I sent you a link if you want to jump in. I'm going to talk a little bit about this controller I got for the Robomaster. We'll talk about that. Right now, I am editing a video that I did last week, testing that out. And eh, I'm not too hip on it. Maybe I just need to practice a little more with it. And also, I want to thank Mel for sending me this. It came in the mail several days ago, and I can't wait to try this out. And that way, I keep my What I could do is I could use one of my GoPro cameras as my dash cam, and I could plug it into that, and I'll keep it charged up. But the downside, it could be draining my car battery. So maybe Mel, if he jumps in, we could talk about that and how that might not be a good idea to do that. Maybe it'll work. I don't know, but I am waiting for Janine. She's from the Philippines, and she might uh, watch the live stream. Okay, what I'm going to do is oh, giving her a title. There we go. All right, I gave one of my friends, Ray Kelly, welcome. Ed, welcome to the show. All right, so we're going to have a good show today. A lot to talk about. Uh, So yesterday I'm at work and I was like, pretty sure I was going to go. And then I got thinking, and several of my friends were texting me saying, you might not want to go. You might want to postpone it or cancel and get a refund. And then when I got home, I thought, you know what? Let's just. And right when I was thinking about that, Mitch sends me a text, and I talked to him on the phone, and I said, you know what, Mitch, I think I'm gonna reschedule for this. And he said, you know what, I was thinking the same thing. Be a good idea, and no sense going down there, catch a bug, and not be happy, not having any fun at all. So that's what I did. First thing I did was I went to the Cheapo Air website, and I tried to do the chat, but when I got on, there were like 900 people ahead of me. And I'm like going, okay, depending on how fast this is going to go, you know what? By about quarter to 12, it was down to 30 something. And then I said, screw it. But well before that, I went to the Frontier Airlines website, and then I gave them all the information. And so I'm in the queue to hopefully get a refund or voucher. But I think they will. I think a lot of people uh, decide not to go. Anyway, let's welcome our first guest. Our first guest is Mitch, old guy in the drone who likes to.
Come on, Art. Come on, Art. It's good stuff. How you doing, buddy? It's actually because of daylight savings time. I'm sitting out on my porch here, and there's still daylight.
Yeah, same here. There's still daylight here as well, so the sun won't be going down till well past 6 o'clock. And Bob Casey is here. Welcome, Bob. So uh, glad we got together yesterday and decided that it would be a better thing to postpone it and do it later when all this craziness is done with. So, oh, Carlos is here. No, Carlos, I'm not in Florida. I'm still in Colorado. Decided to stay home and not take a chance on catching the bug or bringing the bug back here to Colorado. As of yesterday, we were up to 79 cases.
In Colorado?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, Art, well, first of all, hey to everybody in the chat, but now I'm on my cell phone, so I can't see the chat. So if anybody says anything to me and thinks I'm stuck up because I didn't respond, I can't see it. So you'll have to translate.
Yeah,
for me, Art.
I'll do that. Steve Mack is in the chat. Welcome, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
He's always here.
You were saying you didn't want to come down here and get sick. Well, you wouldn't have gotten sick. The incubation period of this thing is at least 2 weeks. What I was afraid of, Art,
right,
is I would be stuck with you for 2 months. That's what I was afraid of.
Yeah,
I was afraid that you'd get down here and that governor you got in Colorado would basically say Colorado's closed and nobody can come back in anymore.
Yeah,
so I mean, I'm joking, of course, about it, but I mean, I think that's a real concern on a lot of people's minds that are traveling is
right.
If I go out, are they going to let me back in if this stupidity and overreactive madness keeps happening? It's crazy.
Yep. Well, our illustrious governor just, signed an edict saying no crowds over 250 people. So that basically says, oh, we might have to redo our state assemblies coming up in about
Uh,
2 weeks. Yeah.
it's crazy. And interestingly enough, the stock market yesterday,
Yeah, it
you know,
bounced back.
I was talking to my son today, who's a financial guy. That's what he does,
Right?
and he's never seen anything like this. And we both know what's going on. It's sheer.
Yeah.
It what it is it's emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but even deeper than emotion, it's the huge criminal investors
Yep.
that can move that are big enough, like guys like George Soros, that are big enough to move a market and can move a
Right.
market. These guys, I have a funny feeling, are really responsible for a lot of this activity, and I think a lot of it, most of it's rooted in politics more than
Right.
anything,
Right.
and that's a shame. But
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, it's real
Mm-hmm.
sad. But at any rate, we'll see what happens Monday. This is not a stock market anymore. This is a roller coaster now.
Yeah.
This is nuts. This is absolutely nuts.
That is true. That is true. And you know what's scary is I looked at my 401k and I lost 20 grand.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, well, I'm on paper, but it'll bounce
Yeah,
back.
you didn't lose. That's just it. You didn't lose 20 grand. But how much did you have? Well, this I have a hard time smoking a cigar and holding the cell phone. That requires too much finesse for me. How
You
much
don't
did you
have,
have in there 2 years? How much did you have 2 years ago?
oh, it was probably around 70,000 where it is
No, what
right
I don't mean
now.
the numbers, but I mean how much did you make over the past 2 years on paper?
Oh, it grew like crazy over the last 2 years.
Okay,
Yeah,
so let's suppose 2 years ago, and this is the way I think you have to look at it. 2 years ago, you had X amount of dollars.
right.
So now, 2 weeks ago, you had let's say you had 50 grand, so you had 100 grand, and
Uh-huh.
in the past 2 weeks you lost 20.
Right.
So you didn't lose 20, you've still made 30.
Mm-hmm.
If you started with 50 2 years ago and you got 80 now, you may have had 100 2 weeks ago, but you still got 80.
Right.
You haven't lost any money. It's like if you go to a gambling casino with $100 bill in your pocket and
Right.
you run it up to 50 grand, and then you give back 25 grand
Right.
of it before
Mhm.
you finally quit and leave. You're
Yep.
not going to walk out of that casino saying, I lost money. You started with 100, you walked out with 25 grand, you did pretty good.
Right.
So
Right.
people look at that. That's the way people look at their investments. And I had the same thing happen to me in the real estate bubble in 2005 and 6.
Right.
I had a house that I bought it for a certain amount, and 3 years later it appraised for 3 times what I bought it for.
Right.
And then it went right on back down to what I bought it for. So
Yep.
I can't say I lost money
No,
because I didn't pay that much for the house. And I think if you look at your 401k in that way, you won't feel quite as
Yeah.
bad. And
Yeah.
like I predicted on my live stream last week, or yet Thursday, that in the beginning of June, the stock market's going to go into above 30,000 in the record territory. That's my prediction.
Right.
Were you in my stream when I did that?
Yeah, I think I did. Yep.
Okay. And I said that my predictions have just as much a chance of being right as virtually anybody else's predictions on the planet, including the experts.
That's
So
right.
there you go.
Right. Hey, I want to welcome Bill, Metro Drones, and Jaybird Drones is in the house. Great. Carlos, that is a good point, but let's save that for tomorrow's show. So we're going to, right now, this is a drone show. So we're basically going to talk about how This whole thing has affected the drone community, so to speak, where it's if you're flying, it pretty much screwed up travel uh, uh, within the United. I mean, even outside the United States. Now, who is Ron Elliott, 3X Drones? He's down in the Bahamas. I wonder how it's going to be for him coming back from the Caribbean. He's on a cruise.
On a cruise, aren't they? Which cruise line? One of the cruise lines has basically stopped all the cruises.
Yeah.
Was it? Anyway, they had people actually had already boarded the ship.
Right.
Yesterday, they had people boarded the ship, went through all that grief of getting to Florida, getting from the hotel to the cruise port, going through all the nonsense, and I'm sure the health screenings and the passport checks and the security checks, and got on the boat, and then they told them everybody to get off the boat.
Oh,
and they gave them vouchers for 150% of the value of what they paid for the cruise. So they made a 50% profit, but they spent more than that already just getting here and staying in a hotel, most likely. It is everything, and I guess we're all supposed to just stay home for the next month and not go anywhere.
Right. Yeah,
while
that's
everybody else
true.
is staying home, Art. See, here's the deal: while everybody else is staying home, there'll be nobody out there. We go out and fly our drones, and nobody will bother us.
Yep, that's right. Hey, we got another guy coming in. Let's welcome Mike Roach.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, Mike Papa Roach.
Yeah. I'm doing pretty good.
I'm out here, Art. I'm out of here. Contagious.
Yeah.
Contagious.
I can't leave the house. Got nothing better to do.
Send that man a test kit. Get him tested.
Yeah. Well, I was going to go to the grocery store, and just as I was walking out of my apartment building to my car, when my neighbor said, "Oh, are you going grocery shopping?" I said, "Yeah." Well, good luck. There's an hour-long wait there at the grocery store, and I said,
"Really?"
Okay. So I just went to the corner gas station, got a couple sodas and chips, and just said, "Okay, I'm staying put tonight. I'll probably go to McDonald's for dinner, grab my dinner, come back, and then early in the morning, that's when I'll do my shopping."
Wow.
Yep.
I know the big grocery store around here last night, they were usually open 24 hours. They closed at midnight just to be able to have orderly restock.
Right.
You know? And it's, I don't know what the deal is with the toilet paper and everything.
Yeah, I don't either. What the hell's with the toilet paper?
Yeah. I can see the hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
But,
I heard some guy on the news somewhere this morning commenting about the toilet paper. He says, we never had toilet paper until recent history. What did people do before toilet paper? You got water, you got soap, the hell. And another thing that really
now I really don't want to shake your hand, Mitch.
Yeah.
Well, forget this. So, well, another thing that really kills me is why the hell are people stocking up on bottled water?
Yeah,
there's
right.
There's nothing wrong with the tap water, for God's sakes.
It's fair, man. Fear is one of the easiest emotions to feel, and it's one of the easiest emotions to spread. It really is, and it takes, a lot for some people to not be like terrified. And right now in the county I live in New York State, there's not one case, not even one, and yet people are acting like the plague is out there waiting to get us right now. And
it's not the plague. It's not the plague. It's a freaking respiratory virus. maybe it's worse than the flu, but it's not Ebola, you know,
Right.
or something like that.
Yeah, if you have a good immune system, you're going to be fine.
Right.
If you're an old codger like Mitch, well, you
Like,
might you might have.
interestingly, so far nobody under 50 has died in this country. Nobody under 50 has died in this country. All the people that died in this country were nursing home. Most of them were real elderly. They all had some kind of respiratory problems to start with, or other severe illnesses. And I mean, it probably won't. If any of you have ever had the flu, I have. It's no fun having the flu. It's miserable, but you're gonna live through it.
Right.
Right. I understand though. People hear, you know, a flu, you know, so, you know, it's not being called a flu. It really should be called a flu.
But, you're right.
It's this, you know, now we, you know, COVID-19, and, you know, it makes it sound like, you know, the Satan bug or something.
The COVID-19.
Yeah. Or the Andromeda strain.
COVID-19. It means there was a COVID-18 and 17 and 16.
Yeah, what happened?
We didn't hear anything about it. Well, that I imagine, and I may be wrong, but I imagine they were the bird flu, the swine flu, and all these other strange diseases.
Yeah.
All part of the coronavirus.
Right. But at the same time, you know, it makes news even when people get a stomach bug on a cruise ship in ordinary times.
Yep.
So, you know, people have died from this. So I could see some measures and things like that, but I don't know where the line is. You know, I'm not a scientist, so I just know I'm not so much afraid to get it and become ill as much as I am if I would have to be quarantined. If it, you know what I mean, the inconvenience of that, as opposed to being sick for, you know. Some people have only been sick for a couple of days and gotten better. Some people, you know, it depends. You know, it could get you bad. We just don't know. But fear right now, unfortunately, is driving people's actions, and totally irrational actions too. With so that you can, you know, the canned food, the soup aisle in our big markets are all empty, and luckily I got in early.
Yep, same here. I
don't expect. See, that's the thing about canned food and all that. I don't expect the electricity to go out because of this virus.
Right.
I don't expect the water to stop running. I mean, see, down in Florida here, we're used to preparing for hurricanes. When you're preparing for a hurricane, the things you expect most to happen is the electricity goes out. Yep. And the water gets screwed up. So you buy a lot of bottled water, you get gas for your generator, or you empty your freezer, you know. But here we're talking about a virus that if it gets stuck at home for 2 weeks, what better to have than a whole freezer full of protein and good food to eat rather than have. And nobody's buying the good food. They're not buying the stuff that they can refrigerate or freeze. They're buying the canned stuff, tuna fish,
toilet paper.
Toilet paper. Toilet paper.
Now, let me ask you, Mitch, down there in Florida, I mean, obviously, every summer you guys are subject to the threat of a hurricane. Like this past year, you were quite worried.
Every year.
And so, do you keep a regular stockpile of like a few cases of bottled water, gallon bottles on hand, or do you just wait for it to come?
No, I normally I usually keep a couple cases of bottled water down the bottom of the pantry anyway, and I don't you know, if I use one, I'll replace one. So I have a stock of that, and
you rotate it.
And I always keep a couple dozen cans of tuna fish, because worst comes to worst, you could live on canned tuna out of the can. And and I have a generator that's big enough to run my refrigerator and a few other things. Not a huge generator. It's just a 2 kW little inverter generator, but it'll run my refrigerator, a couple lights, maybe a floor fan, and a TV. And I could live like that if I had to till the power came back on. The longest power failure I've ever had living here, where I'm living now, was about 2.5 hours, and that was during Hurricane Matthew. But it came on right away. It came within a couple hours. In fact, I got this stupid generator. I got to go out and start it every couple months because I never use it.
Right. Yeah. Plus, you don't want that fuel to screw up the hoses and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Even though I put that stable, STABIL.
Yep.
I put that in gas, so that's supposed to keep it. To keep it good, but
yeah. Well, Ed loved my drones. He just says as long as he's got a couple cases of beer, he's good. And
beer.
Yeah,
one of the basic, one of the 4 basic food groups. Beer.
Yep.
Pizza. That's one of the other ones. Pizza's another one.
Yeah. And Carlos made a good point. Like just keep stuff on hand. In case something happens. I remember back in 1998, we had some winds that came across Lake Ontario and took out power all around the county. And I was without power for like 4 days. But luckily it was in September, so it wasn't cold. And let me tell you, living by candlelight stinks.
Yeah.
And so I have one of those full house generators now where it automatically comes on and all that stuff. So I can't start a generator.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
I mean, you're lucky I can afford
good.
it, Not everybody can get one of those. So
you know what?
You'll never have a problem.
Years from now, people will be saying, you know what? I remember the colonial days.
You're gonna milk that one for everything you can get, all right?
Yeah.
I wish I had a rim shot out here.
Yep. And, hey, just think, we're all colonialists.
I saw something. I'm sitting here smoking my cigar, and it brought something to mind. Number one, I may be presumptuous, and this might be a non-smoking show, and I didn't know if it was or not.
Not anymore.
And you laugh, but I saw something on TV today for the first time that I've ever seen in my life. You know how in the beginning of a TV show or movies, they have the warnings. It says graphic violence.
Yeah.
Okay. Nudity.
Yeah.
Graphic strong language.
Yep.
I saw one today, and I'm serious about this. And if you don't believe me, it was the show called The Boys on Amazon.
Right.
BOYS. Okay. And this particular episode, I think it was episode 3 or 4, had a list of things in that disclaimer in the front longer than I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It had strong sexual content. Now, I know you guys are all going to go look this up now that I'm telling you this part, because you're going to say, whoa, I got to see that. But strong sexual content, nudity, graphic violence, graphic language, and then it said smoking. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. They are now warning us if we're watching something that has some that has now become as obscene as graphic violence.
Might get those teenagers to smoke because it looks so cool.
Yeah, that's right, Carlos. It's a Generac. It's funny. Remember the ABC News? Who was the back in the 80s and 90s? David
Brinkley?
Not Brinkley. The other one on ABC. Jennings.
Oh, Peter Jennings.
Peter Jennings.
Yeah.
I can remember watching him, and you could see he had an ashtray a little too close to him, and you could see the smoke going up next to him. But he died of lung cancer.
Yeah.
Hell, so, when I was younger, I used to go into the doctor's office and the doctor would be smoking.
Yeah. When I had my injury back in 1978, the surgeon who operated on my neck would come in with a big cigar in his mouth.
Oh.
Yeah, good for
right into the room. But that doesn't make it right. But it was we weren't as afraid of everything. It's prudent not to smoke in the hospital, obviously.
Well, I think, yeah, I probably since there's a lot of people around on respirators.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And pure oxygen. Yeah.
Right. Right, but remember that they used to have, if you had a room with oxygen, there would be a sign, "No smoking in this room."
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh.
but some of these rules are for the better.
Yeah.
My my brother in Charlotte, North Carolina, I got a message yesterday. His wife apparently has lung cancer.
Oh.
No.
Just like finding out the last couple of days. So we don't know where that's going to go.
Right.
But it's the weekend, of course, so the staff is short and stuff. But she's a smoker, and we don't know anything right now. But it does happen.
Yep.
And so I'm hoping that it's somehow treatable. But it's stuff is real, and but but we can't go through life being afraid of everything.
Yeah,
I guess is the point. Yeah.
And therefore I smoke cigars.
Right. I used to smoke cigars.
I don't inhale. I've never inhaled any. I never smoked cigarettes, and I never inhaled any of this stuff. I'm sure I breathe in some secondhand smoke in the process, but I don't know. My family, all the men were cigar smokers, and my grandfather specifically, and he lived to be 102. So I figured, well, what the hell? If it kills me by 102, I'd be okay with me.
There you go.
Right.
All right. Now that we're all done with the happy topics, let's talk about this controller that I got. And this is for the Robomaster S1. And it's not made by DJI. It's like a third-party Chinese company. And the name of this unit is called the Smurf. Boy, they know how to pick their brand names for
Smurf.
Yeah, it's
Smurf.
Yeah, Smurf.
It looks like the same one it looks like the same one I got for the Tello.
It's very similar, except the controller layouts are a little different. This one's down a little lower.
Okay.
We're on the Tello. They're they're evenly spaced. Yeah. So on this one controls forwards and backwards, right and left. Where it would go sideways, but you can't make it turn with this. Now with this one, if you wanted, you can turn the unit with this, but you have to hold down this switch right here, which is kind of a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
And it's really wonky, and I'm not too crazy about this. Luckily, I didn't spend a whole lot of money on this. And I don't know what these other buttons do, but I know this other controller right here, it controls the laser on the Robomaster. You hit it, it goes pew, pew, pew. And, but I'd rather use the phone. The phone is a lot easier to use than this, because with the phone, I could go forward and I could make it turn this way and that way. And it's a lot easier. This thing, you gotta like push down the trigger and then push the toggle switch over to get it to turn. And then if you do that, then the turret's going either up or down. That's where the camera is.
That doesn't make any sense.
I know.
Well, it's probably some generic controller it's just reprogrammed a little bit for that thing and sent out.
Yep.
I wonder how many of those things they've sold. How many of those things do you suppose they've sold?
Yeah.
It's a farce multiplier.
Farce multiplier.
Yeah. I don't know, but I got this on Amazon, so it got here pretty quick. Well, it took several days because it came from China.
And you won the Robomaster, right? So
Yes,
you're not out any money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And last week I did a video on it, and that's where I'm going to be. I did the review for this, and I got started on the editing today, and hopefully later today or early tomorrow I'll have that video uploaded. And it looks like we're going to have some nicer weather coming in, and by Tuesday I'm hoping to do some fishing and some flying. So happy about that. So
well, it was 86 here today. You missed out on that.
So you're probably wondering, hey, what happened to your arm here? Well, I donated blood last Monday, and the nurse that I had, she stuck it in, and everything was going pretty good, and then it started slowing down. She goes, well, I'm going to have to adjust that because the needle probably bumped the vein, so they had to adjust it to get the flow going. So, and it wasn't even that time of the month. And
oh yeah, I'll tell you, I'm here all week.
Yeah, that's why Art's a professional comedian, Mike, and we're not.
Yeah, she stuck it in, and then she drew the blood.
You do a pretty good Rodney there, Mike.
I love Rodney.
Oh, he's my favorite.
Yeah,
he's my favorite.
Yeah.
My wife said she wanted me to talk to her during sex. I says, okay, when I go home next week. She goes, no, call me in 5 minutes.
He says, I went into McDonald's. He says, they told me I didn't deserve a break.
Well, and then a couple of days ago, I got this in the mail, and this is my other prize that I won. And Mitch is right, I do. I don't know why I win a lot of stuff, but I can't win the big damn prize at the lotto. I wish I could win more than $2, So I got this, and that's going to be really handy, so I could charge my cameras on the go in the car, or the batteries on the drone, and get that going. Hey, Drone Days is here. Welcome. And Chris Hope is here. Great.
Hey, Chris. How are you?
Yeah, we're up to 14 people. Cool.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Carlos, just waiting for Tater to come in. I sent him the link and hope maybe he's watching. Who knows?
Well, you're not up against Spike anymore on Saturday night.
Yeah, that's true.
He stopped his deal.
Yep.
Did he?
Yeah,
Kill it?
No, he's
Wednesday and Thursday now.
Yep.
Yeah.
8 o'clock Eastern.
Yep.
Right about Ken Herron time, 8 o'clock Thursday.
Oh God, that was a marathon show the other night. I mean, almost 3 hours. I'm like,
wow, I watched the first hour of it, and then I got tired.
Oh, and Larry S. Welcome to the show.
He's Steve Mack, Bob Casey.
Cool. And okay. Oh, I'm up to 18. Cool. So
Well, I miss Spike's Saturday night show, tell you the truth.
Really?
It was a lot of fun in its old format, and so I hope he finds what he's looking for, in his new way of doing things. But boy, going up against Ken Herron's kind of tough.
Yep.
Well, he's on Wednesday night too. But I
Wednesday.
enjoy, Mike, we used to go on his show when he was using StreamYard.
Yep.
And he had guests and he had a panel.
Yep.
But now he's using Skype, but so far I haven't seen him bring anybody in yet.
Yeah.
Only one person at a time.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen anybody. Not just one at a time. I've seen anybody.
Yeah, I've seen one at a time.
Have you? Okay.
It's not the same. It was like a party before.
It was. It was fun, and I never missed one. I was on almost every one of them. And we enjoyed it. But what's important to him is being able to stream in 4K and have all the professional equipment and all the professional graphics and all that stuff. And his show, he's got to set the priorities. For me, none of that stuff is important. What's important is to me is the content of the show. Is it something that's going to entertain me? And I'm not saying he doesn't entertain me, because he is an entertaining guy.
Oh, yeah.
But I think the show was more entertaining, Mike, if you agree with me, the way it used to be.
Yeah, because Spike was kind of the ringmaster, but there was this whole three-ring circus of the bunch of us in there.
Yeah.
And but it's his show and his stream, and he can set it. Hopefully he hits a home run with whatever.
I hope so. He's a sweet guy, good heart, and he's the one that calls me. He named me Uncle Mitch, and he still does when I go into the chat. But I kind of miss him. And he comes on. He was on my stream. He came on when I had that my birthday deal.
Right.
Remember when I had that in December? But that's the last time he actually came onto my show. So.
Right. And Ed, Ken Herron, that's who we're talking about.
He's pulling your leg.
Now, what time did Ken go to, Art?
Oh God, it was like 8:45 my time.
Because I left at 10:30 our time, and he was just about to wrap it up, but maybe he kept going on.
Yeah, he kept on going, and I'm like, I think he was just starting the 1 second song. I'm like, oh, come on.
I saw the 1 second song, but he had run out of songs.
Oh, okay. Well,
so it was about 2.5 hours. On my end, anyway.
Yeah.
So
it was a little over 2.5 hours. He needs to, it's great. He's building up a lot of watch hours, but he's up to 111 subs. He doesn't need to worry about watch time. He's got to kind of compact it a little bit. He's losing a lot of people. I watched the watcher count, and it'll go up to almost 500 or a little over 500. And then I know when it gets past 2 hours, it starts to taper off, and he was down to about 300 or just above that. Hey, AZ Drone Dude is here. Welcome.
Hello.
So Ashley's mad at me because I'm the guy that gave Ken the heron video where the heron ate the duckling. That was me.
Right.
So guess what she did? She went out and bought a little baby duckling.
Oh, yeah.
And she sent me a picture of her with her duckling, and I said, so did you show that to Ken? And she said, yeah, and this is what he sent me. And there's a picture of a heron kind of eyeing a duckling.
She wasn't on last night. Kelly was on last night, wasn't
She was on.
Well, they had her on as his challenger for 1 second song.
On Thursday. See, I didn't hang around that long. I didn't.
Yeah.
When I left, he had a guest on there. He had the guy who got mugged.
Yeah.
Got his Skydio 2 stolen from him.
Zen Lee, yeah, the guy that got his Skydio 2 stolen.
Yeah.
Like, boy, that's pretty bold. This happens at a park in the middle of the day. But
yeah, I know.
You're a high school. So,
well, you go to a sketchy part of town.
Yeah.
Even the kids getting out of high school will rob you in the right neighborhood,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Guess we got to wear a gun. We have to arm ourselves now when we go fly our drones, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
I wish I could. Yeah.
We'll have a drone that's armed. We get turning around.
You see this? Speaking of that, you see the video of the guy that put the Nerf ball gun on top of the drone?
No, I haven't.
I saw that there's 2 videos about it. And this guy, I don't know his name, but he's a big YouTuber. The guy that did the thing. He's got millions of subscribers. And what the hell is his name? I'd never heard of him before but Joshua Bardwell is the guy that he called Joshua to get help trying to figure out how to trigger all this through the flight controller. Right. So Joshua Bardwell put up a video, the part where he was helping this guy, and they did figure out how to make it so he could shoot the Nerf gun from his transmitter with the switches. And then in that video of Bardwell's, there was a link to this guy's video which was much longer, where he talked about building it, and it was just as cool as could be, man. And it shot these Nerf darts, and it really got him out of there too.
Well, I've seen the one where the guy straps some Roman candles.
Yeah,
it looked like a
back in the Wild West days.
Yeah.
Now I won't even go put a match near my drone. I don't want any phone calls from anybody.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
then there's Chris Rollins, who attaches some rocket engines on a drone and launches it in the air, and that was kind of funny.
Yeah. Well, he made a rocket out of PVC pipe.
Yep.
And,
oh yeah, he used whatever's left of the sodium that he's got, and he made a rocket out of it. Somebody else did it before he did, but I think his video turned out a lot better.
Yeah.
Especially that second attempt where it came down and stuck right in the ground.
I'll have to go look for that. I hadn't seen that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris is pretty good.
Yeah.
But he looked like a new father, that's for sure. When he stopped in on Ken, he looked like he hasn't had sleep in weeks.
Yeah.
And he said so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then he said, "Oh, shh, I can't talk too loud. Baby's sleeping."
And then he goes and blows something up in the backyard, huh?
Yeah, there you go. Hey, let's fill up some balloons with oxyacetylene and put them at. And who's helping?
I used to know some blacksmith guys. Used to know some knife makers, handmade knife blacksmiths. They used to make the Damascus steel.
Yep.
These guys were crazy, and they had a big, they called a hammer in up here, just up in Barberville, Florida, which is just north of Orlando. They got a blacksmith school there. So, when they had this thing, and they would, anything they could blow up, these guys would blow up. And they would fill these huge balloons full of acetylene.
Yep.
One guy burned every hair off of his face and head.
Oh man.
And then they do this thing where they take a big anvil. Okay. I'm talking about 100-pound, a huge anvil, and they put explosives under it to see how high they can get it to go. And they get those anvils 200, 300, 400 feet up in the air.
Oh, geez.
They're nuts, I'm telling you.
That's Bugs Bunny stuff.
Yeah. I don't want to be anywhere near that when it's coming down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. My dad was a, World War II cigarette butt, no filter smoking guy from back in the day. And we owned a bar as well. So we had a cigarette machine in the bar. We had packs of matches all over the house when I was a kid. So playing with fire is something we learned quite early on in childhood. And a couple of my older brothers actually caused fires to damage the house. But, at least I knew how to do a controlled burn, myself.
Right.
Learned pretty early. So the worst we ever did, we put a can of Raid into a little fire we started behind the garage, thinking that was a good idea,
Yeah. Oh, man.
And it blew up, but luckily it burned itself out real quick.
Yeah.
I think we froze up visually. Oh, there we are.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I can't see the actual stream. I can just. In fact, it's very hard to watch you guys because I'm looking on a cell phone and I see the three of you, but each of them is like pieces of size of a postage stamp. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Eisenhower on the dime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the stories my dad told me, I mean, this is back in the 20s and 30s. Back then, that you could buy black powder at the hardware store. It's in a great big wooden keg. And my dad went down there and got like a little paper sack full of black powder. And they take a brass scoop and scoop that up. How much do you need, Jerry? Oh, okay. They'd weigh it and put it in there, and off he went. And he bought a couple lead pipes with some end caps. And
you know what I'm talking about this stuff on YouTube, Mark.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, he done blowed up stuff.
Oh, I'll tell you, man.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Boy, they caught a lot of fish doing that too.
Hey, Art, I'm gonna head on out of here. So give my hand some rest holding this phone up. I'll never open my fingers up again. And I'll leave it to you and Mike. And okay. I hope I see you both tomorrow night on my deal. And everybody in the chat, I'll be able to see the chat again as soon as I hang this up. I'll watch you on the stream. So
okay,
you take it easy.
Cool.
See you tomorrow.
All right, take care.
Bye, Mitch. So
yeah.
Are we frozen again, Art?
No, you look good.
Okay, I'm not moving on my end.
Oh well, you got that Telstra going out there.
No, as far as I know, my internet's good. But what's going on?
But you look good. You're nice and sharp, which is good.
Yeah.
Are you? What kind of camera are you using for your streaming?
Logitech.
And he disappeared. Oh. All right. So my dad did some crazy stuff, and that was back in the day where, his grandparents gave him a black powdered rifle when he was like 12 or 13 years old. Then he got hold of I think it was a Sharps rifle that shot a 45-70. My dad did hand loads with that. That was a black powdered gun where you'd take the cartridge or and you'd put primer in and then put the powder in, then set the seated the bullet in, and they'd shoot that off in their basement of their house. But there he is. Mike finally decided to come back.
Sorry about that. My computer did it like a full restart.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, oh well. Every now and then, I usually put it in sleep mode, but once in a while, it just needs a hard restart for whatever reason. You know?
Wow.
So, but custom, yeah, Chrome. Oh, Chrome didn't shut down correctly.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but I'm not too worried about Chrome.
So, was the name of the bar the Roach Bar?
Yeah, I have in fact, my hat says it on it. See it?
Oh, okay.
Roach's Furman Park Restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was a little street, a park across the street, real small park, but we called it Furman Park, and it was, it was the beer joint by the time I can remember.
Right.
And, but I used to work for my dad. I'd go down there when I was 12, 13, 14, and after closing and mop up,
Right.
All that stuff, and carry beer up from the cellar and stock coolers, and then just curl up in a booth and go to sleep till it was time to go home in the morning,
Wow.
So I loved it,
Well, I mean, you got to earn a little bit of money to go buy stuff that you wanted. So you learn how to be a productive person. Now kids today, they're all there with their phones, looking at their phones, and job, what's that?
Yeah, I wouldn't trade those experiences of being in this dingy beer joint 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then you see cop cars going by, the street cleaners will go by, someone with blood on their head goes by, people come up to the door wanting to use the phone or the cigarette machine. You didn't dare let them in, and I wouldn't trade it for the world, man. I was with my dad, and I was having a great time. And
well, that's good.
Learn how to work hard.
Yep.
So it was great. And, learned out a little bit about life.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. My folks had a painting business, so when they weren't there, I was the answering machine.
Yeah.
And I learned how to, take down Mr. Carlson's not in right now. May I take a message? Oh, okay. And your name is? And how you spell that? And your phone number? Oh, okay. I'll have him call you when he gets in. Have a good day.
What was it? A cleaning business?
Painting.
Oh, painting.
Yeah, they did interior and exterior painting.
Exterior both, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. Exterior stuff was tough because they had to scrape it too.
Yeah, they did have to scrape it. And my dad took a couple spills off the ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, fortunately for him, when he landed on some bushes.
Right.
Broke his fall, so he never got really seriously injured. I think one time he fell through a window well, and he hyperextended his knee, and that kind of messed him up for a while. But he never got any broken bones. But they had those wooden ladders. My dad he didn't like aluminum ladders because he was so afraid of, it might get near a high power line, or maybe there's a thunderstorm might pop up, and you don't want that because that's like a lightning rod. So he had these rickety old wooden ladders.
Wooden extension ladders?
Yep. Yeah. I don't know how many times he repaired that thing when it got a crack or something, or one of the runs came loose and he had God. But back in the day he had a 69 Chevy Impala where he had these side hangers that were made of metal, where they went over the door and the ladders would go down there. He'd drive along and the ladders were right there. But you had to get out on the other side to come around and take the ladders out, depending on which side. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
And they did that until their 70s. Imagine that, early 70s. And then after that, he decided to kind of retire.
Yeah. Now I noticed you've been posting a lot of pictures from back in the day on Facebook lately. Have you been kind of going down memory lane lately or something? Cleaning out some boxes or just getting some stuff out?
Every what?
Have you just been getting some things out and putting them up there?
Well, what it is Facebook has a thing every day. It says memories, and it'll pull up memories from the last. Now I've been on YouTube, Facebook for 10 years now.
Oh, okay.
And it pulls up everything I posted on that day over the last 10 years. I would pick out the ones that, oh, yeah, I think people would like to see that. Like my grandfather on the USS Enterprise.
Yeah.
Or my parents out in the garden at our house in Michigan back in the 70s. Or my prom tuxedo that I had on. I was all dapper and white. And yeah.
Yeah. Hey, there's Tater.
There he is. He's finally in the house.
Hey, Tater.
Hey, Tater. So so how long have you been on Facebook? Are you fairly recent to Facebook?
About 6 or 7 years, tell you the truth. I didn't really think much of it when I joined it, but all my family would post everything they were doing.
Right.
So I was like, if I'm going to keep up on things, I'll just join it and see what's going on.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I never got the call for that, and so, but then, next thing you know, you kind of get caught up in it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you do. Yeah.
But it's nice. One thing I like is, is like the community pages. Like for the neighborhood I live in, there's a community page. So if I make a video for YouTube, I'll post it in there if it's got something to do with the local thing.
Right.
And I'll get like 200-300 views out of that.
Oh,
and as well as people get to check out, like, what construction on the local water tank is like or whatever, So it's kind of cool.
Oh, that's neat. That's neat.
Yeah.
So,
but other than that, you got to draw the line somewhere too. It's like, there's an awful lot of vanity with posting every single move you make on these things. And, people our age generally don't do that. But man, a lot of young people today, it's like they can't sneeze without putting it on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I used to connect with all my comedian friends, and now I don't talk to most of them because, well, I have a different view on life, and they think, well, that's their thing, and I just don't like it when they start telling me how stupid that I think that way, and I go, you know what? You go do your own thing, and I'll. So there's a few of us that are of like mind that I still keep in touch with, and which is cool.
Right.
Yep.
No. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
show business is that way.
Yep. Yep. And yeah, it's a good way to keep up with friends and meet new friends. I'm meeting a lot more people from the Philippines, and they're interested in what I'm doing because I sort of have family out there now because I have godchildren and keep up with them. And,
now, speaking of the Philippines, How is that volcano situation out there now?
Oh, that has calmed down quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're down to level 2 now, which is good. But it still smokes now and then, but it's nothing like it did back in January when it
Mm-hmm.
erupted. Boy, it
Yeah.
spewed ash all over the place, and it affected a lot of people. Now you got the virus going around. Manila's on lockdown right now.
Wow.
So that's how what's going on there. There's a big run on surgical masks, and I mean, just like here, my niece, she works at a dental office. She's a dental assistant,
Yeah.
and well, they're out of masks, so she can't work for a while.
Yeah.
Because everybody's buying up all the masks and they don't have enough. So I want to say hi to Steve Carpenter and Down the Wabbit Hole. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Steve and Tina
And Trevor's here, Manic Magic.
yeah, Trevor.
Mike,
seen him in a while.
aka the Drone Ranger, is here. Welcome to the show.
Cool.
So,
So, did your Filipino friend ever make it into the chat?
well, she's not in the chat. She is watching.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
What time is it there now?
Let's see. It's 14 hours ahead here in Colorado, so
Yeah.
it is 8:07 a.m.
Right.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That's crazy. So, I'm trying to picture, where is Philippines in relation to Australia?
It is pretty much straight north of Australia.
Straight north?
Yep.
Okay, so, but not east or west, or just pretty much.
Let's see. Let me look at the map real quick. Philippines map. Okay, let's take a look at it, and oh, dang it. I gotta back it out. Okay, it is straight north and a little bit west. It's almost, but not quite over. It's okay. You know where Western Australia is? It's straight up from that.
Right, so it's like north of Perth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And right below the Philippines, you have Indonesia, and Malaysia is to the west, and Vietnam is just straight west from Manila.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, hello, Philippines.
Yeah.
And geez, I'll never get there. That's an awful long way to fly, Art.
Yeah, it's 21 hours from Denver. Yeah, so I'm hoping to go back for Christmas, because I got that week off, the week of Christmas off.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh yeah, so I gotta start saving up and go there. If not, then I'm definitely going to go in February.
Yeah.
Yep.
The farthest I ever got out that way was in 1985. I went to Hawaii.
Oh.
And also in 1989, and it was it was pretty exotic.
Yeah.
And all that being out there.
Yep,
and beautiful weather, and that was about 11 hours in the air from here.
Yep.
So, man,
yeah, I was there in '86, and back then it was still pretty reasonable to go there. And yep. And then 95, I went to Japan and South Korea. And then when I went to the Philippines, I got to go to Beijing. So that's the furthest west I've been. Hey, let's welcome Greg Cooner.
Greg, all the way from Aussie
Yep.
Good morning.
So, yeah, Greg said he's not going to the Philippines in April. He decided he's going to stay put. Yeah. Greg, by that time, this whole virus thing will be all done with. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope so. It's right now, it's, in the short term, it sure is affecting a lot.
Yeah, it sure is. I mean,
and what, 50 people are dead in the U.S. now? Even if they were old people, they were people.
Yeah,
so,
that's true. But out of 320 million people,
right?
It's tiny,
right?
And that's any kind of everyday flu is going to take out about that many older and really young people. So
right.
Right.
And it's going to spread to, like, we don't have any cases here now in my city. I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
And it's like, we got to just get ready and mentally to deal with that, and just everybody wash their hands and do what you're supposed to do, and you should be okay.
Yep. Yeah, you just gotta, take precautions. It's that time of year where people get sick, from, late September until April. That's flu season,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. When talking about the out there in Hawaii, Art, when I was there in 1985, I was hanging out about 11 o'clock in the morning outside. The hotel was right on the beach, and some guy came up to me. I had a New York Yankees shirt on.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Are you Scott from New York City?" And I'm like, "No, you got the wrong guy." As if you like running.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of Scott.
And I got talking with him, and remember the band Billy Squire?
Yeah.
He played for them, and I asked him, like, what band you with, and I thought he said Blue Squire at first. I'm like, where do you play? And he's like, all over the world, And I'm like, oh, okay. And he said, you want to meet George Harrison? He's coming down for lunch in a couple of minutes. I'll introduce you. And sure enough, there comes George Harrison.
Wow.
Down to eat in the outdoor restaurant there at the hotel. But I was like, I told my helper to with me, go get my camera, but I never got to meet him.
Ah, dang.
I had lunch about 30 feet away from him.
Oh, cool.
But, I didn't want to be one of those people going up to him, bothering him and all that stuff. And I just forgot about
like that too. Yeah.
So that was my big brush with fame in the Hawaii.
Right.
So.
Well, when I got performed down in Aruba, Chuck Norris came to our show.
Oh, yeah?
So I got to meet Chuck Norris. Really nice guy.
Yeah.
And then we had some soap opera guy show up. Walt Willey showed up, and this guy was handing out photographs of himself at our show. And I thought, yeah, that was pretty weird. And he was one of these wannabe comedians. And so he came to Denver, and he worked at the comedy club here in Denver. And I said, I gotta go see him. I wonder if he even remembers me. And this is like several years later, maybe in the late 90s. And yeah, I walked in the green room to say hi to Walt, and he turned around and he's going, hey, this is the guy I was telling you about. The guy from Aruba. He's funny. And
Really? You remembered it?
the owner's kind of like, yeah, we know.
This guy kills. He kills.
Yeah. Oh, so I sat in the back of the club watching, and it's about 90% women that are there.
Yeah.
And they're like laughing at every stupid joke he's telling. I'm like, I need another drink. Maybe you'll be funnier the more I drink, you know?
Right.
And I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, that's got to be tough. It's fun to be funny when you're with your friends at a party,
Right.
but to get up there in front of an audience who doesn't know you,
Yeah.
and to out of the blue come up with a funny routine. I mean, it's got to feel awful to bomb on stage.
Oh, yeah, it is. I've had those shows where one night I'm just killing it. I mean, everybody, the other performers, we're all just killing it. Next night, you can hear crickets chirping.
Right.
And I'm like, oh boy, it's going to be one of those shows.
Yeah.
And those are tough, and they kind
Yeah.
of eat at you a little bit each day, and but you know what, you gotta have thick skin and just move on, because you're gonna have shows like that. I mean, there's so few and far between, but those are the ones you remember,
Yeah.
and the ones where you really kill, you'll remember those as well, but you have a lot more of those than you do when you bump.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of work, because you got to sit down and think of a premise and you know work on the setup and then the punchline, and then you go to open mic and you try out the new material, and if it and you always, well, back when I did, we had cassette tapes where
Mhm.
we would tape our set, so listen to it and see where maybe you got a bigger laugh if you said the joke this way, or maybe if you had a different inflection in your voice.
Right.
Uh, or nowadays, you got video. All you have to do is bring an SD card and hope the club has a camera, and you record it, and then you can see, how the audience is uh, reacting to you physically, because sometimes the joke, you gotta do it a certain way, a certain hand gesture or a certain look on your face.
Right. Timing, whatever.
And
Yeah.
that's the key, and that's
Well,
how
I still think one of the funniest guys that I've never saw him in person, but Richard Pryor at the top of his game was hysterical.
Yep, yep,
I mean, you watch stuff from 1980 or 1979, still absolutely hysterical
yep.
today. And
He's been around for a long time. He started back in the late 60s, early 70s,
mhm.
you know?
Yeah, with records and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was there when Carlin was still, he started back in the early to mid 60s. And, he talked about sleeping in his car, uh, because he was so broke, he had to get to the next gig, and he couldn't afford to get a room in the hotel, so he didn't have a place to stay. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard Jay Leno actually had to sleep in his car
Yep.
before he made it big.
Yep.
Got his break or whatever.
Yep.
If you got
Yeah.
on Carson and you got called over to the couch, you were all set.
Yep. And that's what happened to my friend Roseanne. You know,
Yeah.
she got on the Tonight Show, and she was just on all cylinders, just boom, boom, boom. And I remember the first time I met her. It was an open mic show at a kind of a a dinner place. It was a restaurant, and it had a stage, and we did open mic there. And I think I had been doing it for about a year, a little more than a year, and I did pretty good that night. And I watched her set, and she just like killed it. And I went up to her and introduced myself and said, "Boy, you were on fire. You were." And she turned around. And she goes, "Ow, you're funny."
Yeah.
And that was just before she got on the Tonight Show. So she was
Right.
like the hot comic in Denver, and there were a lot of really good comedians in Denver back in the 80s, who started a few years before I did. Uh, the first comedy club I think opened in '79, and that was the Comedy Works in downtown Denver.
Yeah.
And it was at a bar, and when the guy that started the club, when he got enough money, he moved the he started the club right around the corner, about a block away, and it was called the Comedy Works. And saw a lot of really good comics there. Uh, I saw Bill Hicks there. Uh, I saw Jerry Seinfeld. I wasn't really impressed with him. Uh,
Yeah.
Jeff Altman, I saw him. Louis
Mhm.
Anderson. Uh,
Laurie Anderson. Yeah.
yep,
You remember SCTV, right?
yep,
Television show.
yep,
John Candy came through there, and Eugene Levy. And Eugene Levy had a character, Bobby Bittman.
yep,
And that character was hysterical to me. Like the really tacky comedian who,
yeah,
was just terrible, but thought, laughed at his own jokes. And that character was perfect.
yep,
And and then he would I remember one skit they were doing it, and Bob Hope, they had another guy playing Bob Hope coming out the way he used to on Carson. He would just walk on
right.
and interrupt people while they're on the show. And it was, he gets all pissed off, of course, because Hope showed up.
Yeah.
So good stuff.
Hey, we got a new guy here, the Psycho Ducky.
Uh-oh.
All right,
It must
welcome
be
to
a
the show.
Ozzy. G'day.
Yeah. All right, it's good that we're a worldwide show here. We got people
Right.
from the Philippines. I haven't seen Mine's vlog today. She's from Taiwan,
Yeah.
and but she's originally from the Philippines. She's a caregiver up in Taiwan. So,
Yeah.
mm.
That's
Yep,
cool.
Second City TV. They were out of. They were like Second City was out of Chicago, and they were the comics that started Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Yep, not ready for prime time players.
Right.
Yep.
But weren't they kind of people who, weren't they competing with Saturday Night Live at one point? Like,
Yeah, they were. They were. I'm not sure. I think they were on Friday nights though.
right.
Yeah. So
And
I
there
don't.
was another show called Fridays, if you remember
Ah,
that one. And
okay.
Michael Richards was on there.
Right.
You remember he played like a kid in a sandbox with
Right.
an army hat on, and he'd
Right.
have army men and blowing them up and stuff like that. that was on a show called Fridays, which was
Oh,
ABC's answer to Saturday Night Live.
right.
But it only lasted a couple of years.
Yeah. And then Fox had a show called In Living Color, and they were really good. And
well, that
then
was the Damon Wayne and
the Wayne brothers. Yeah, Wayne and brothers.
The Fly Girls.
The Fly Girls.
Yeah, I remember the Fly Girls.
Rosie Perez. That's how she got her start in show business.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was in the movie White Men Can't Jump.
Right. Actually, Jim Carrey too was on.
Yeah, Jim Carrey.
In Living Color.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then he had his own show that flopped and was canceled after 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Called Duck Factory, I think it was.
Yeah.
And let's see. And then there was SCTV, and then there was another show. I think it was on Fox, and it had that Oriental woman on there. Someone that played an Oriental woman that she talked like this, and I don't know. You know, she was Mrs. Swan. Yeah.
I can't remember that one.
Yeah.
But during the 1980s, I wasn't staying home on the weekends. I was out at night,
Yeah, well, yeah, same here. Here. I practically lived at a heavy metal club. I was there several times a week.
Yeah.
Mrs. Swan, yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Somebody remembered, huh?
Yep. Roger, the fire marshal. Oh, Fire Marshal Bill. Yeah. Yep. There's Terry. Yep.
Well.
Yeah. What I call plastic face. It was like rubber, where he could make those goofy smiles, and he was a riot in The Mask.
Right, that was pretty funny. Yeah, that combined with his regular facial stuff plus computerized stuff,
right,
just was hysterical. And I'm not huge on comedy movies, but that one really made me laugh.
Yeah, Ace Ventura.
Right, the first one was really funny.
Yep.
And the comics though that we grew up on, were Milton Berle and all those Phyllis Diller, all those old school people, and we were just kids, but we thought they were hysterical.
Yeah.
And those Dean Martin roasts that were on TV.
God, those were really funny.
They were hysterical, but you look at them now and think, oh my God, they were terrible. But they were funny in their own way. But Dean Martin wasn't really drunk doing those things.
He just played the part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Conway. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of comics, I see it. I don't know if you ever came across them. Remember from Laugh-In, Artie Johnson just stopped.
He
recently.
did. Wow.
Yeah. And remember the guy? He had the German uniform on.
But stupid. He played the German guy with the German helmet.
Yeah, very interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he just passed away, and God.
Yep.
It's hard to explain to a young person today just exactly what Laugh-In was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they say, well, that's where Goldie Hawn came from.
Yep, that's right. Goldie Hawn, and Richard Nixon even did an episode.
Right, he came on.
Yep.
Yeah. God.
What is that? Sock it to me?
Right, sock it to me. Sock it to me. Yeah. Yeah, God.
Yeah.
Of all those shows, we all watched them. Remember, we were kids in school,
right?
And next day in school, everybody watched the same thing, and you would talk about it at lunch and in the morning before school and stuff like that. And when you only got 2-3 channels to watch.
Yeah, that's. Oh, Ruth Buzzy was in that.
Ruth Buzzy, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, God,
She
with the
played
purse.
the gal in the hairnet, and she's on the park bench, and Artie Johnson played the Flash,
Right.
where he'd have that trench coat and glasses. And she'd hit him with the purse and chase him off. Yeah.
Right. Oh, God.
And how about Lily Tomlin?
Oh, yeah, she would do the thing with she was a little kid in a big giant
Yeah. Yep.
chair. Yeah.
Mhm. And
Yeah.
she played Ernestine, the
Oh, yeah.
telephone operator. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just laughed like crazy at
Yep.
it then. And,
Yep.
yeah.
My folks and I, we'd and that the flew.
Right.
Yep.
God. Jeez.
And then we had the Carol Burnett show, and that was hysterical. And Mama's Family.
Right. Yeah, Mama's Family was funny. I mean, all of the bits were funny.
Yep.
And and they didn't have to swear or anything.
Yeah, that's right.
It was goofy and it was funny. And when they did the Gone with the Wind episode.
Oh yeah.
And
Why this is something I just threw on. Yeah.
right, it was when window shopping or something.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
But Flip Wilson.
Flip Wilson.
All those shows, and of course Sonny and Cher.
Yep.
And Cher was actually quite funny.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
But,
and then there was all the Norman Lear shows like the Jeffersons,
right.
Archie Bunker. What were the other ones? Oh, Maude. Another one.
The Maude. A lot of shows came off All in the Family.
Yep.
It was the Jeffersons, Maude, Good Times.
Yep.
Good Times with J.J. Walker.
Yep.
Which I thought was a great show. Huh?
I got to work with Jimmy Walker.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah.
And on that show, he killed it.
He wouldn't do Kid Dynamite, and now he does it.
Right.
Because
right.
for a long time he wouldn't say that. He thought it was just so cheesy, and that was his hook on the show.
Yeah. He probably didn't mind get stuck with it though for life.
Yeah.
But he'll do it now.
Yep. Oh, and Drone Days said, "You mean John Ritter?"
Oh, John Ritter. Oh, like what was it called? Three's Company.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah, all those other sitcoms, man.
And you know who his dad was, don't you?
No.
Tex Ritter.
Tex Ritter was he a singer?
Yep.
Yeah.
And sadly, he died of the same thing that killed his dad. He had aortic aneurysm. Or his aorta just tore away from the heart. And,
yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
jeez. Yeah, I remember all those things at Laverne and Shirley. And
I thought that was the stupidest show. I
we all watched it, and
I like Happy Days.
Happy Days,
Mork and Mindy was a spin-off from that.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, he appeared on Happy Days, right?
Yep.
Yeah. God. Man, it's funny how many things came off of Norman Lear, a lot. What's The Odd Couple?
The Odd Couple, yeah.
Oh. The movie The Odd Couple was actually quite funny though too.
Yeah, that was. Yep.
No.
And Facts of Life was a good show.
Right.
And that was a spin-off of What you talking about, Bush?
Right. 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 That was the Facts of Life, though, wasn't it?
That was the spin-off from the Gary Coleman show. What was
What
called?
was that called?
Oh God. Uh, the, the, the,
Hmm.
oh, I'll have to Google that.
It's weird. I can remember Conrad Baines was the guy named,
Yeah,
but I can't remember the name of the show.
Mrs. Garrett was their housekeeper, and
Oh,
then she
okay.
got the job at the school.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Gary Coleman. Okay, Gary Coleman.
What's happening?
Yeah, that's right.
It?
What's happened? Yeah.
Tater got it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are great.
Yep. The person that got me started in comedy or got me interested in comedy was on Facts of Life, and that was Jerry Jewell. She played Blair's cousin that had cerebral palsy.
Huh.
She was on that show, and then I saw her on it was like the forerunner of a lot of these after the news shows like PM Magazine, and she was doing stand up at I think it was the Improv or something. And I saw her do that, and I thought, I looked at my dad and I said, "How you do that? I'm much funnier than she is." And then a couple of years later, I got to work with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
I think I remember who you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, it's tough to get up there. Like, you don't want to get up there and just do like disabled humor.
Yeah.
You want to go mainstream, but sometimes you have to use it a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I would start off with a little bit of self-deprecation.
Mm-hmm.
And I talk about being short and all this, and then I would do more observational stuff. And that mainly what my show was, observational or play on words.
Right.
Yeah. Puns were pretty frowned upon in comedy circles because everybody thought that just so easy.
Right.
Yeah. So I stayed away from. I might throw one in now and then, but you know what? Ken does a good job. He's funny in a silly way, and that's what endears people to him. Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, the king of the one-liners was Rodney Dangerfield.
Yep, that's right.
Just I still watch him to this day on old Tonight Show reruns on there. It's just like just and it was all raunchy as raunchy as he could. And then if you ever watch his HBO specials, he got really raunchy.
Oh, I bet.
I
bet. Yep. Mr. Crowley said all three kids from different strokes. That's the name of the show.
Right, different strokes. Yeah.
Had sad lives, and that's true. Well, let's see. Gary Coleman. Yeah, he had to divorce his parents. Because they were screwing him out of his money that he made. And what was the kid that played his brother? He had a lot of.
Yeah, he went to jail, didn't he?
Yeah, he went to jail. He had a drug problem. And then there's Dana Plato. And she got really messed up and died of an overdose.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, show business is riddled with that stuff.
Yep. Oh, Don Rickles. Oh, God. That guy was funny. But you know what? A Don Rickles kind of guy couldn't make it in today's environment because that's not PC. Right. It was a lot of sarcastic put downs.
Right. The stuff he would say, even on mainstream TV, not to mention the club, and on the Dean Martin roast, when he would give like Sammy Davis a hug or something. I won't say what the jokes were, but he would never get away with them today.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep.
No. Anyway, I just gotta.
Yeah, I think it's
get out
about
of here
to shut this bad boy down and call it a night. And I want to thank everybody out there for coming to the show. Tater, Mr. Crowley, Carlos, or Conrad, if you like to be called that.
Crowley, those propellers are in the mail if you haven't gotten them yet. I actually mailed him some props.
Yep.
Autographed Mike Roach props for his backdrop. So
Timeless Truths. Thank you for coming back, but we're about ready to shut this puppy down. So, Mitch, thanks for coming.
Good night, Mitch.
You made it for an hour and 40 minutes. Good on you. Longer than Ken Heron's show. Greg,
All in the Family. Carlos is right. It was
All in the Family.
That was the top one.
Okay, so it's about time for me to go grab some dinner and.
All right, Art. Well, thanks a lot for the invite.
You're welcome, and we'll see you next time around. All right, and good night, Larry, and everybody else. Tater, Steve.
Say good night, Dick.
Good night, folks. And
you're supposed to say good night, Dick. All right, I'll see you, Art. Bye, everybody.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, everybody. Ed and Mike B, Larry, and everybody that came to the show, thanks for coming. Don't forget to hit the like, give me a thumbs up, and also, if you can help me out, I just updated my playlist for the live stream. Please run that live stream for me. Just let it run. Turn the audio down or off. Just let it run, and that will build up my watch hours. So, and it's really working because I'm looking at the analytics, and they're steadily going up. And I'm gaining subscribers now, so I'm up to 1,300. So I'm cool. Oh, and before we go, when I hit 1,500, I'm going to give this away, a Tello drone. So I'm going to make a video on that, and I'll post that. And thank you, Mr. Crowley. Mr. Crowley. All right, everybody. Good night, and see you next time. Bye-bye.